show don't stop, it's a long season. They planning on winning for the wrong reasons. Trying to get my number retired, can't let these frauds beat us. I figured out the recipe, never let opponents get the best of me. I'm focused on my legacy.
Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah. Beats, leave it in the street, case on the news.
Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me what you wanna give. How much blood would you bleed? I'ma tell you I'm a misconceiver, I'm a believer. Someone better kick my fever. Tell me it's 100 degrees underneath my whole flesh. Everyone tells me it's a bit of a mess. Someone tell the wrist I was never at the hit. I would never get it off my chest, though. I'm forgetful. Someone better tell me I was always on the edge. Overstay your bearings, I would never underestimate. Oh, barely, my bets are off. Everything was better off. Oh, barely, my bets are off. Everything was better off. Think your eyes.
Hey everybody, it's the Coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Appreciate you, Coach. One of the great venues to watch a game in any sport and one of the best home crowds in any sport. Soldier Field in Chicago. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talked about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by the man running the show, Charles, their quarterback.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Now they'll run it with Cohen. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. The rushing numbers last week for Cohen. 10 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it through the air or maybe change up how you establish your run game.
They'll run on second down with Cohen. They give him about 4 on the play, but he's marked short, so it'll be third and about the length of the football. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Open man is Miller. He's got him. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. The quick slant, good for 8 and a first. First down, a run with Cohen. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. A loss of 2 there, second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a third and about 7 left. From the shotgun, Wilson. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. The defensive end, Danielle Hunter, drops him.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
Well, you know, he hated taking the loss there on third down. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. So here come the Vikings as they get set for their first drive. Orchestrating the offense will be a man who, of course, won a national title back in his days at Clemson, Deshaun Watson.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Watson on first down. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. It was Roquan Smith who got his big hand in there to knock it away. Let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
So let's all work together on this one because it's natural to just watch the football. But I want all of us to watch the center of this offensive line, the center and the 2 guards. They've got to be able to control the point of attack, and they didn't do such a good job on that last play. Plenty of opportunities to redeem themselves. They'll have to take advantage of that and start to make progress.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now with the play clock about to expire, we get a whistle and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
so much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. They are going for it. Here's Watson. And this is incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And that will force a turnover on downs. So they take a big chance here in their own territory. And you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, you know, normally we focus on the media, right? The social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. How about on his own sideline and in his locker room?
Yeah.
Because I think the team's going to look at him like, Coach, why would we go for it there? I mean, no confidence in the defense. You don't like the punter. I mean, what's going on here? You owe us some explanations.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Hey, pick it up, defense. Let's go.
He'll get this complete into the hands of Riley Ridley. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because there should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. They only got a yard out of that last completion. And that makes this 2nd and 9. They run. This is Cohen. Down he goes at the 10 with a solid pickup of 8.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
That's right, baby. They don't want it. Show it up. Let go.
And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Adam Shaheen, his first touchdown on the year as the Bears push further out in front. And when they called that play, I'm not sure they expected it to go all the way to the end zone. Nice little reward, though.
Without a doubt, and sometimes I think the offensive line gets a little bit more inspiration when they know that guy's going to get the ball because he doesn't touch it very often. They want to reward him for all that good blocking he does as well.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
It's just me and you.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Watson. And that is incomplete here.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Throwing on third down, Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they left little brother down. Oh, the Bears break through, and they block it. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. And they will wind up taking over with control of the football outside the 10 at the 12-yard line. So much for pinning him really deep. Short punt could have pinned him inside the 10. Now great field position the other way.
It's never good when you're punting the ball and your eyes see the ball go back behind you.
No.
However form, whether it's over your head or to the side, never good. Now it becomes a race to get to the football so they don't pick it up and take it all the way.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Cohen. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead. The offense on third down tonight, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. They're looking at third in the nose of the football. Now it's Wilson. And that is incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. From 3 yards out as the Bears push further out in front. It took a pretty big risk right there going for it on 4th down, but hey, not only did they get the first down, forget about that, they got in the end zone.
Yeah, because normally you're just thinking, can I get enough yardage to get it past the sticks and pick up a first down? Instead, they go for the end zone and get it done with no margin for error. Remember, 4th down, they went for it.
They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
To throw again on 2nd down. Watson, it's complete to Diggs. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
58, right over there, right over there. Yeah, yeah. Mike, 58, right there. Down to lose 1. 49, check. 49, 49. Check, check, check. Save.
On first down, it's Watson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The sack there by Roquan Smith.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. The Vikings on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now, we'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. And he's able to find Diggs. The 20, 10, touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs, his third touchdown now on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
Steps away to his left. And now he's going to use his legs. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. They'll roll him out right. Now he'll pull it down. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down. He'd had some success as a runner previously on this drive, just not as much space there that time.
Yeah, this time when he pulled it down, they were ready for him, so I think he's going to have to fling a few in order to open up that running lane again.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Throwing again on 2nd down. Wilson, they'll leave it for Cohen, complete. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. From midfield now, here's Wilson, sliding out of the pocket. He'll run it, and he'll get it down to the 47 here. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Wilson, and he's going to keep it here. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a line through an opening, and there he goes. Past the 20, 10, and with a clock reading zeros, he is into the end zone. What an exclamation mark to the end of this 2nd quarter.
Indeed, indeed.
We talk about it a lot. One of the dangers of the long field goal, you got to kind of hit it low and drive it. That makes it susceptible to a block here. Not only do they block it, they return it.
And how about how well they did on the return, where they didn't create a penalty? Oftentimes in that type of a scrambling situation, someone will clip, someone will block below the waist, right? You name it. In this case, though, that didn't happen. They formed it up, and he took it all the way back for a touchdown.
Elliott good on the extra point. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams. We send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started up at Lucas Oil Stadium in the capital city of Indianapolis, where it was the visiting Broncos who were able to come in and get the road victory. A field goal, the difference. 17-14, the final. Next, we head off to check out.
All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This one taken from the 7. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Again, it's Cook. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 9, Watson, and Diggs has it. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 39.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. A shotgun snap for Watson, and nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. It was Roquan Smith who got his big hand in there to knock it away.
Whenever they're trying to attack a zone defense, you're trying to figure out where your gaps are going to be. And depending on what type of zone they're playing, it could be on the outside, it could be in the middle, it could be in the seams and the edges. In this case, they tried to attack the middle of the field, but this zone defense didn't allow it because they were able to see the ball come off the quarterback's hands, and everyone was able to react to the football and knock it away.
Throwing again is Watson. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 15-yard line.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
First down, here's the run with Cook. He takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now Watson. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes.
That's his second sack of the game. The best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? Now it's Watson. Flush to his right. And the throw there going to be incomplete. It was Roquan Smith who got his big hand in there to knock it away.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So they come away from this opening drive of the third quarter with only 3, but it does draw them even.
Yeah, and that has to be job one, doesn't it? A touchdown definitely would have been nice. We know that. But here, you get back on even terms, and now you've got most of the second half to try and get yourself into a position to win.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
First down for the Bears, a gain of 15. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. A give to Cohen. He heads right. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
And when the defense wins and gives up no yardage on a running play, that's something they can build on and carry themselves forward throughout the game.
Throwing on second down, Wilson. It's a gain of 5, and they're going to face a third down. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on third down. From the gun, it's Wilson. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
Here comes the Bears punter now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Not good at all. Punt of just 24 yards there. And the Vikings will take over here first and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
They'll be going for 6. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set him back for second down. Back now at Soldier Field. All even as we get ready to start the fourth. Back now at Soldier Field. All even as we get ready to start the fourth. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Out of the gun, Watson. And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Every penalty so critical at this stage of the game as now they've got it 3rd and long.
Let's go, defense. Here we go. Watch this. Check 31. Check 31. Shoot. Hey, we got
From the gun, here's Watson. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first. But at least it's 4th down. They got the win last week despite not having any interception. Oh, they come after him, and it's blocked. It's picked up, and this is a live ball, remember. Touchdown, Bears.
Partners, you well know every block punt wasn't necessarily a called block. Sometimes the guy just finds his way back there. Doesn't matter. The play happens, and that one turned into 6 points because they handled it so well after the block.
Extra point splits the uprights, and they will take a 7-point lead. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And out now come the Vikings. A running play on 1st down will get 4 up to the 29. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. After the run, Watson going to throw. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Here's Watson. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. On 4th down, Watson. He'll have a 1st down past the 40. And finally, down at the 41-yard line. 12 yards there, 1st down, Vikings. On 1st down, Watson. Got a man on the right sideline. It's Harvey. 23 yards, the final tally. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Again, it's Watson. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. Now a throw here on 2nd down, and that's complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a 1st down.
Come get some. Come on here.
They'll run with Cook. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down. He already has 2 sacks to his credit. Now another tackle for loss.
And you know how you can always identify who was supposed to block him? They're the ones helping up the person who just got knocked to the ground with the ball, right? Whether it's a running play or a pass play, they've got to figure out a way to slow him down. Maybe you chip him with a second guy. Maybe you just out-and-out double him. Maybe you make sure you take the ball and throw it as far away from him as possible. Because right now, he is wrecking things for them. It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle.
52. Mike 52. Here we go. 5-2 is the Mike. Mike 5-2. Mike 5-2.
They will indeed snap it to Watson. And that is incomplete. They had the play call on 4th and goal, but it's dropped in the end zone. And the Bears will get the football back. So the failure to convert no doubt really hurts, but this one's not over. A good chunk of time on the clock and the timeouts.
Yeah, not only do they have the timeouts, as you just noted, they're going to get an extra one with the 2-minute warning. And that's going to help in big ways. So in a sense, they have 4 timeouts in their pocket. The big thing, stopping them on defense now. They can't let them get a first down and make them use their timeouts and get a fresh set of downs. They've got to stop them right here. And if so, they've still got an opportunity.
So backed up closer to the danger zone here from the 2. This is 2nd and long. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. On 2nd down, it's Cohen. Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points.
And when you're facing a deficit on the scoreboard, you're just looking for something to get you right back into the game, and that's the spark that they were looking for. They got it with that big return.
Following the fumble recovery, Watson. And he whips that one incomplete there. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Back to throw. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
Brandon, it's okay what they're doing right now. Still able to work the middle of the field, but you know sooner or later they're going to have to stop the clock.
From the 50, it's Watson. And Street's got it complete. And I think the ball's out. And this is picked up by the Bears.
Well, that simply is a missed opportunity. They're in position. If they take the ball downfield and score, they've got a chance to win the game. Instead, they cough it up. I don't think next week at practice is going to be a whole lot of fun for him.
On the other side, no bigger time to force a turnover when you've got that small lead.
Yeah, and when you look at it from the offense's perspective, taking care of the ball is so important. I know they're going to have all kind of ball security drills in practice all next week.
So the challenge comes in inside of 2 minutes, and it gets overturned.
And it changes the whole format of what's about to happen because both sides had thought a certain call had been made. Now they have to flip back and start over.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Here's the 10, 19. Come on, let's go. 25.
fumble recovery. Watson. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Now it's Watson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Back-to-back big plays defensively. First the sack. Now they force the incompletion on third and long. Things looking pretty good for them.
And this is where they have to be careful because they've got the momentum going their way. They will be really amped up to get to the quarterback. Look out. Draw, screen, something that can be used against him.
He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Go, go, go. '52's the mic right here, over there, right?
Here we go on fourth. Watson. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And they will take a knee here.
Wilson on the keeper. A loss of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11 at the Vikings 39-yard line.
Let's go now. 15 on it. 15 on it. Right, 54. I got you. I got you.
They go down to a knee and a sigh of relief as they are into the win column for the first time this year. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And you look back over the score sheet, interesting. A very clean game, no turnovers by either side.
An absolute rarity when we watch games now because defenses have put such an emphasis on taking the ball away. Well, what we saw here was offenses spending their time saying, look, you know they're coming for it. Ball security is paramount. So they worked on that, not just a week of practice, but I'm sure all during training camp. Make sure when you have it, tuck it away because danger lurks everywhere you turn.
So for Chicago, it took a few weeks, but they finally get their first one of the season here in Week 4. And they'll get another home date next week as the Raiders will come to town. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Squad like, what? In the field like, yeah, all day like,